we got a couple of things to talk about. Not a lot to talk about. And we will be in Wolves Den at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, basically 30 minutes after this, because congratulations to Piastri, man. Congratulations to Piastri. Big shout out to everybody pulling up for this live chat. Don't forget, we will be in the Wolves Den in about 30, 45 minutes. We're not going to stay on here long because there's not entirely a lot to talk about there, but there are some things to talk about. And one thing that we're going to talk about first is I can't see why and for any other reason Lewis Hamilton should not be driver of the day. Because had this been another driver who managed a situation in a woeful car with a big update bought in a very condensed weekend, not providing the opportunity that you would have in an authentic weekend to make adjustments, to collect data, to get the car more dialed in. And it is unnecessarily, ridiculously, to see people trying to blame Lewis Hamilton for a lockup that clearly, and even Nico's dumbass talking about Hamilton making the mistake. Brother, Charles had the same component on his car. The same situation took place. Lewis Hamilton's team now has that component, getting adjusted to it, and had a lockup. This is not Lewis Hamilton, bro. It is crazy the statements that are made. Lewis Hamilton is by far the driver of the day. I can't think of anybody else. I had to basically just put names in there. I can't think of anybody else who had a drive from P16 or from P18, P17 up into the points. And if I'm not mistaken, that means that Lewis Hamilton has been in points every race since the beginning of the season. Lewis has been in the points every racing event this season. For a driver who's come into a team that needs a big swing of a turnaround, who is trying to overcome cultural adversity, overcome update challenges, Lewis Hamilton's driver of the day. Now let's get into another driver who's definitely not driver of the day. Definitely didn't do the rocket drive. You know, it was funny. A lot of people were hella excited about this past sprint, although they discount Lewis Hamilton's Chinese GP sprint, but okay. And they felt a little bit more emboldened to start coming out from underneath those rocks in those shady, shadowy areas. And what we do have is Max Verstappen with not another race win. Max Verstappen, 4th place. And you know what's oddly funny now, people? What I'm going to tell you what's funny is the talk has changed. The talk has changed. The talk was all about he's the most dominant, the best driver, the GOAT driver, can take a rock from here to there in the fastest amount of time. And now the talk is, well, I don't know why they making it seem like it's so bad that he only got 2 race wins. Hold up. That's not how you were talking at the start of this season. That's not how you were talking at the Japanese GP. That's not how you was talking. You were talking all the good cash money shit. Keep talking it. Don't try to water down the goals now. 2 race wins? Is that what you were saying when we came into the scene? Paul in the super chat says, let's talk about making up 11 positions in no time. That's a masterclass. Smash the like button. Facts. That's a masterclass, people. That is a masterclass. Lewis was running it up in positions. Yo. And Max Verstappen was not. He started 4th. He ended 4th. No change. Didn't even do nothing with Charles Leclerc. And y'all said that Max Verstappen is the wet rain tire master. He couldn't even get past the Ferrari that's having issues. The Ferrari who can't update good enough. Max couldn't get past Charles Leclerc, who continues to make ridiculous mistakes except for in this race. Charles, fantastic job today. Fantastic job today. Way to put yourself on another podium. If Lewis Hamilton, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. So it is what it is. Mary Beanie in the super chat says Lewis got driver of the day with 38%, P18 to P7. I thought he came from P16, but maybe it was P18. I thought he was P16, but maybe he was P18. That makes it even that makes it even better, right? That makes it even more so that awesome from P18 to into the points. So yeah, maybe he got moved up a couple of places because of two other cars. So P18, but I thought he had started. Matter of fact, I don't even have to think. We could just look at it. We could just look at the provisional poll paperwork. But yeah, I thought he had started P16, but maybe he was P18. So either way it goes, whatever the case may be, Lewis had a fantastic drive, and he made the most out. Yeah, he did start P16 on a provisional document from the FIA. But either way it goes, it was a fantastic drive, and I'm still a little bit concerned about Ferrari. As we got Galactus in the super chat says, greeting fam, Lewis would have been P3 or better if the track limits didn't happen. I agree, and I'm still out on the track limits call on that. I don't think he exceeded track limit. I think that was really kind of McLaren is cooking. RB is done. Ferrari needs to fix it. All the way through, Galactus. Can't debate with you on that. Maria Duncan in the super chat says, Lewis Hamilton, driver of the day, dispatching other drivers one by one, if you don't mind that I add to that. This bodies well for the rest of the season. Hammer time. I need to see more. I need to see more, but you know what I don't need to see more of? You know what I don't need to see more of in order to win me over? Is that Lewis Hamilton is not washed. That Lewis Hamilton is not indeed the problem. That's what I don't need to, that's what I don't know. That's what I don't need to be further proven to me. Mechanic Mercedes said, nah, P18 started from the pit lane. Okay, that's what it is. Started from the pit lane. Okay, roger that. Yo, I ain't gonna, listen, I'm gonna say this as well about Spa, about Belgium. I'm really kind of not feeling it as much. It seems to be a ridiculously inconsistent, irresponsible racing destination. I mean, the start was an hour. It was like an hour or some people. And this is not the first time. It happens over and over and over and over again. I'm out of that. Paul, P18 due to PU change. Okay, roger that, P18. It was, and that makes it even better. That makes it even better for Lewis. And I had to set my timer 10 minutes just to take a quick nap. I didn't go to bed till around 0200 this morning. I'm actually tired of Spa and all of this. Now let's get to the talk of the town. Oscar Piastri, Mr. Iceman, Mr. I'm the dog, Mr. I'm actually the leader. And matter of fact, Oscar Piastri probably is not even worried about being a leader. He's the dog and the driver of McLaren. If Lando can, and he does, have any opportunity, and he does, to bottle a race start, he will, and he does. He's not a good person. He's not a good driver starting off a race. It don't matter if it's a rolling start. It don't matter if it's a standing start. Lando Norris can and will bottle the start of a race. Now, I ain't gonna front with you. When Lando opted for hard tires, I said, this shit might pay off. The hard tire might pay off. J. Rob in the super chat says upgrades look a little bit better. Unfortunately, the lift and coast hurt. Maybe the last race before break will be better. I'm looking for it to be better. I'm not looking for Lewis to prove anything to me that he hasn't already proved to the rest of the world, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. He is the best. He is the GOAT. There's no way he's washed. Charles gave me a little bit more comfort or a little bit more motivation or encouragement that he might be doing better as a driver. It's not an easy task to have Max Verstappen directly behind you on your gearbox or any capacity in these conditions and not make a mistake. Charles did that. And that's what we need to see more of for Charles Leclerc. We need to see less mistakes, more consistent driving, more calmness in yourself while being competitive. We need to see more of that from Charles, because up until now, he really hasn't given us that. We got Mary Beanie in the super chat says, to all who said Lewis is washed, then fuck you. I'll say it for you, Mary Beanie. I'll say it for you. Mary Beanie saying, fuck you. That's what she's saying. I won't say it too much, but you know. Just gonna say it out there because it need to be said. Incredible Facts Quest in the super chat say, Jay, come on. Lewis was flying through the field, and moments he got to 6, they tell him to lift and coast. Give me a fucking break. Yeah, bro, for sure. I didn't say nothing negative about Lewis. I said Lewis is most certainly the driver of the day, and coming from P18 makes it even better for what he did. I'm giving Lewis all the credit. I don't know if I'm not understanding entirely your super chat right there, but I'm not giving Lewis any flack for anything. Lewis did a phenomenal job today, and anybody that says anything different is tripping. I'm saying I don't need Lewis to prove anything to me because he's already proven it. It's not him. It's Ferrari. It's the car, and it's the whole damn thing that is a factual event and a factual experience that a driver coming from one team to a new team principal, new engineer, new car, changed 90%. Now we're dropping bulky updates and still trying to get on with it. He's overcoming that, and he's still in points every damn race. I don't understand where the strict and stupid criticism is coming from. If the Colts can be patient with Anthony Richardson, Ferrari and you fans should definitely be okay with where Lewis is accomplishing this season. Maria Duncan in the super chat says, Pia keeps showing McLaren that he is their number one. Eventually, Zach Brown is going to get the message. Maria, I don't know. I think Zach Brown's already gotten the message, but I think he's got to back his boy. He's got to back his horse. I don't want to call him a boy. Lando knows he's a grown man. I don't like people calling me a boy, especially with racial tension and his historic value in the word boy to a black man. It just doesn't go well. But Zach Brown knows the message. Zach Brown, I believe, knows this. But when you come into the season and you make such a claim as it's the Lando era, Maria, he got to eat that. He going to have to stand behind that until he can't stand behind it anymore. And when that time is going to come is when Oscar Piastri is crowned the 2025 Driver Championship of Formula One. At that point, Zach Brown will have to come from behind that front. He'll have to come from behind that Lando era desk and shake Pia's hand and look at Lando and say, maybe next year. Stephen Myers with the sticker in here. Big shout out to Stephen Myers. Thank you very much. Galactus in the super chat says, move spot to a different date for no rain, maybe. Galactus, I don't think it's even possible, brother. I think the geographical location of Spa is the problem and issue why the rain cycles through there so much. I don't think it's going to matter if they change the date. Honestly, they should just change the venue. Spa, I like it for it what it can deliver, but it's just not the best location for consistent availability of the calendar. And constantly the fans here get drenched. They have bad situations here. They don't get a lot of, it's just not, to me, it's just not good for overall geographically. Here it comes right here. Mechanic Mercedes says Charles made a mistake. He locked up and lost 0.82 seconds, but Max was too far back. Okay, but I think we can agree in some standards, Mechanic Mercedes, it could have been way worse than that. It could have been way worse than that for Charles. But that's a factual thing. He locked up, 0.8 seconds. But that still goes to show I think Charles did a good job today. I'll say that. No, I might maybe taking no mistakes. He made a mistake, but still, in comparison to things that he has done in making mistakes, that by far was no Charles botch job today. Mimi, to whom it may concern, is Lewis still washed? She's got all the profanity for you. If you haven't gotten enough, she'll give you some. Stephen says, did you see Nico in his quick interview of Max Dad? Major shade. Yeah. Matter of fact, let's talk about that, Stephen. So Nico, while we were all delayed and waiting for this race to start, and it wasn't, Nico Rosberg got to interview Jos Verstappen. And he asked him about the Christian Horner thing. And, Josh, like he ain't got nothing to say. And Nico's like, oh, so you quiet now. Oh, so you're quiet now. You don't got nothing to say now. You've been doing all this yapping. You've been doing all this talking in Mercedes damn paddock. You've been all up and down the grid. You've been barking and barking about Christian need to be gone and he's a cancer to the team. And now that you here and Christian's gone and I'm asking you how you feel about it, you don't have nothing to say. That's a punk. That's a weasel. That's a backstabbing, conniving ass snake. Jos Verstappen is exactly that. I did like that energy. I did like that energy from Nico. He is quite the person to do that most times than not. DG Big Blue Navy, where I said good race for McLaren, and Alex had a good run with Williams. He did have a good run with Williams for sure. I wanted to see both Williams cars in the points, definitely. So Racer X210 said we'll be headed to Hungary for the next one. And this is not a sprint weekend. This will allow them to do more. And rumor of one of the last floor updates. We'll see how big that floor update is and if it actually makes a chance, Racer X210. Frank in the Super Chat says, if Lewis is washed, what does that make Alonso? Somebody thinks along the objective, realistic lines as the rest of us. What does that make Alonso? What does it make a driver who's been almost 2 decades removed from winning a race, championship? What does that make him? What does that make a driver getting beat by a rookie in which you help manage? What does that make you? If Lewis is washed, it's got to make Alonso a galactical landslide in the wrong direction. What did Alonso do today? Not a damn thing. Let's call it for what it truly is. They do not want a black man to win the 8th. Yeah, I said it. And Frank, I'm with you on it. 100%. I'm with you. And several other Wolfpack family members are with you too. Eugene Kelly says why Lewis had to lift and coast needs explanation. I would say, and I'm pretty sure many of our other family members here would say, just as we take a peep over to that and then back to this, it likely is because tire deg. It likely is because several other situations, probably with the Ferrari setup, and then probably playing it a bit safe. And let's just be completely honest. Ferrari have made a lot of mistakes this season. Disqualifications on fuel with Charles Leclerc. Disqualifications on Lewis Hamilton on plank wear. Update situations. I think it was more of they needed to play it safe with all the BS that was going on. And I completely agree with you. It does need to be some type of explanation. I completely agree with you. Yeah, they need. I think up until the end of the season, Ferrari need to be able to clearly explain and elaborately lay out what they're doing, why they're doing it, and for any reason that you tell Lewis Hamilton a radio message, it should make a lot of sense. It should. And so, Lando, what do I always say? You know what I always say, right? Pressure does 2 things. It does one of 2 things. It busts pipes or it makes diamonds. Lando continuously shows us he will crack under pressure. I'm not blaming the slow pit stop on him. That's not him. But there's going to be people out there that are going to say that's the only reason why Lando didn't win today's race. I'm not going to say that because we saw Lando make mistakes. We saw Lando make two definite mistakes. All right. He came completely off track. That was Lando. And then he failed to rotate the car properly, getting out of line and catching marbles. That was Lando. Lando Norris also failed to have a good race start while it was rolling. Do you all know in the world of drag racing, whether it's on track or it's on the street, a rolling start usually is going to give you the good upper hand if you're already the faster car. Because if we're rolling, there should be no reason why I'm breaking traction. There should be no reason why I can't get out of gear. Usually I'm going to start in 3rd gear so I could come just straight down in the 4th. If you're a car person and you're starting from a dig, is starting from a dig more complicated than starting from a rolling start? Yes, it is. If you don't know, I'm telling you it is. Lando made 3 pivotal mistakes. He sucked at a race start in no matter what format it is. He came off track, and then he got offline into the marbles and couldn't rotate the car. That's all Lando. Lando cracks under pressure. He cracks under pressure. And Oscar is stone cold. Get your ass. Give me some. A big cup of shut the F up if you don't mind. Mechanic Mercedes says if Lewis is washed, then that makes Alonso a drunk, archaic, primitive granddaddy who consistently lie about fighting the Korean 1950. Oh my gosh, bro. That is stupid funny. Oh my gosh. Leave it to Mechanic Mercedes to lay that out, bro. How the hell do you even come up with this shit, man? Oh my goodness. That was unbelievably awesome right there. Oh my gosh. J Rob in the super chat says Lando jinxed himself when he said last year at AD that this year was going to be his year. He forgot about Pia. He did. He forgot about himself. For real. Lando forgot about who he is. Lando probably discounted Pia, but more than anything, Lando forgot about who am I? I'm the guy who can't seem to separate my Max Verstappen bestie friendship from racing on track, and I just lay down every time for Max. I'm the guy who can't stand up, verbally say something in the press, and then fails to back it when Max and me get on his private jet. I'm the guy who is indecisive when I say I want to call the shot. And then when things get a little tricky, I radio back and say, okay, maybe I can't call the shot. I'm the guy who has a consistent record of cracking under pressure. Lando forgot who the hell he is. And now he clearly understands who Oscar Piastri is. I'm the guy who can manage tires better than you, Lando. I'm the guy who doesn't give a damn about who Max Verstappen is, was, or plans to be. I'm the guy who on a race start doesn't mind taking the fight to Max Verstappen. I'm the guy who heard it was supposed to be your era. And you know what I said? F that. I'm going for the win. That's who Oscar Piastri is. He a dog. He's a dog out here. And who Max Verstappen is not who everybody said he was and is. Max Verstappen is a driver right now who is in a competitive car. Max Verstappen is a driver right now who is in the top team. Max Verstappen is a guy who is wearing gold shoes and the number 1 on the front of his car. Max Verstappen is indeed a guy who's only got 2 race wins for the season, while a lot of people told us he was going to damn near win every race this season. Max Verstappen is the guy who is going to get on the radio and complain, especially when it starts looking crazy and a little bit tricky. He going to complain on the radio. So if things don't go his way, he got his explanation and his excuse already laid out. That's who Max Verstappen is. Who is Max Verstappen not? The GOAT. Who is Max Verstappen not? The best driver in Formula One. He's not the best driver in Formula One. He's one of the best drivers in Formula One. He's not the best driver in Formula One. He's not the GOAT. He's not even a GOAT. If you got your receipt and you happen to be a content creator, if you happen to be a creator of content, if you happen to be one of those channels who claims to ride with Lewis Hamilton, but is always swinging on the Max Verstappen nuts when it's suitable for you. If you're the guy who is trying to appease all the Max Verstappen stands and fans out there by wearing your Max Verstappen hat and saying, hey, they're the boy Max. If you're that person, I hope you kept your receipt. So you can take your receipt and take your Max Verstappen bullshit back to the store and hopefully you can get your money back. It's okay to acknowledge when Max does good, because he does. It's okay to acknowledge that Max is a good driver, because he is. It's okay to also acknowledge Max has flaws, because he does. It's okay to acknowledge that Max character is not great, because it isn't. It's okay to acknowledge that Max does a lot of foolish bullshit things on track, because he does. What's not okay is that you try to shit on Lewis Hamilton while in understanding conditions and just big up Max because you don't like the face that's at the forefront of Formula One. It's not okay to do that. Frank in the super chat says Lando was crying about the conditions before the start. Got passed by Piastri after crying. And we didn't need Lando to be doing all that crying because it was already wet on track, Frank. I'm just going to add that. And Coke bottled it again at the end and the beginning. I'm just going to add that too, if you don't mind. Piastri continues to demonstrate why he is champion material. And it is. Lastly, which it don't have to be your last word, Max, because you on point. You spitting facts. You, Mechanic, Mercedes, Marabini, Galactus, Maria Duncan, y'all spitting facts. Max who? By Felipe. Yo, first of all, how you came up with a Mike Jones rap pun in there and then a Friday by Felicia is very classic. That was fire. That was fire. We got on the next super chat we got right here because we're going to get ready to hop off for here in a minute because we're going to be in Wolves Den. Mechanic Mercedes says, any reason why Lewis had to lift and coast? No wonder he couldn't pass Albon even in did. And bro, I was really, Mechanic, I'm with you on that because I was really trying to figure out, like, why can't he get by Albon? Because he should be able to do that. But I also didn't want to discount Williams for not having a good car that they've been trying to update, and they brought a pretty substantial update to the car that looks like it might be working out. And to whoever, Sylvia Witt Kelly in the super chat says to whoever said Lewis is washed up. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna say it. Suck on these nuts. That's what Sylvia Witt Kelly got to say to you. Yo, y'all killing it in the super chat for real today. You know, I got something else to add. Yuki. Why did it take Makis to make sure that Yuki was outfitted with the proper updates? Why is it now? See, that I got a problem with that. I got a problem with a change of management and somebody going to bat saying, Yuki needs the updates. Why doesn't he have the updates? You need to update Yuki's car. I'm trying to figure out why it took this man to make that happen and why didn't it happen before? Why did this not happen before? I think we probably all know the reason for that, right? Not saying Yuki's a better driver than Max, because he's not yet, but I am saying there is a such thing as fair and equal opportunity within the team for drivers to compete for the best position that they can achieve. And we know right now that was not the case. And I like that he put that out there. Yeah, Yuki, yeah, what the hell's going on here? Why are these shenanigans? Why is it that my man don't got the shit he needs to be racing and be the best version of himself? I'm not even trying to say he's better than Max Verstappen. I'm trying to say, why aren't we giving Yuki the tools to be the best version of himself? He's out here getting criticized. He's out here being talked about. The second Red Bull driver car is already a big thing, and now he's happened to face that. Why are we not giving him the ability to be better, as the better version of himself at least? At least. He's already got challenges coming into a team and trying to understand a car that's bounced everybody else out of it. While Lando, he getting updates just to kind of critique and personalize himself so he can battle Piastri within the same damn team. Mechanic Mercedes in the super chat says, for real, got to give it to Max. True. But no, not true. I didn't hear him complain. Oh, that is true. A lot this race. He didn't. He said something about the clipping, and that was about it. I guess he graduated from baby bottle to a pacifier. Shout out to Yuki. I would say he graduated from a baby bottle to a sippy cup. Baby bottle to sippy cup, but Mechanic Mercedes probably like, I'm not even giving him that much credit. Frank says, last thing. Frank, it don't gotta be your last thing. You are spitting bars with the rest of the family. You good, Frank? Keep spitting them, Frank Footer. The pack, hey, to the Wolf Pack family. I'm out. Big shout out, Frank. Big shout out to you. Shout out to you, bro. So yeah, people, race, hey, Piastri's up. We're going to see what happens in the next event. Probably will be a continuation of that. We also going to see what's going to happen with Ferrari, because this next event is the one where I said I was going to pretty much give them to show me that they could understand the updates. But I got to give them another event, because this one right here definitely didn't provide the opportunity. Not that any other team wasn't underneath the same conditions to do whatever they needed to do for any updates they bought. But this goes for all teams on the grid and all teams on the track. Bringing a big update to a racing event where it's a sprint format doesn't give you the best amount of opportunity to try to understand as much as you can within a race weekend. Not to say you're not going to get any data, not to say that them having just some data isn't critical, because it is. Anything that you can learn is good, but we're going to see more from them past Hungary, I believe, right? If everything is aligning and they actually have bought updates that can be converted into upgrades and understand the package, I got to give them the next two events, right? I can't just limit them to this and then all that. So yeah, the next two events, Hungary, and next is when I'm going to say, okay, Ferrari, understand this, but remember what I said. It's still short-lived, because it's not like we're going into another season of the same regulations. The regulations are going to change. We're going into another season that regulations are not going to be the same, and it's going to be one of the biggest regulation changes. So it's almost all a bit for nothing, unless this, they don't have the 2026 car. Aerodynamics is active. It's changing. The power unit is changing. It's kind of, okay, you do great this season, but then we got to worry about next season. What are you going to end up doing, Ferrari? How much better can you be banked off of the last season? Not much. Mechanic Mercedes says Lewis would have congratulated his teammate after a win. He would have. You're right about that, Mechanic. Norris just got out the car and dipped. Did he even acknowledge Oscar, if I'm right? I didn't see him do that, so I'm with you on that. But I didn't see Lando go up, hey, good race, bro. You did your thing. I didn't see it either, but sometimes there's footage that comes out later that we didn't get to see, so maybe that could be the case. But either way it goes, I don't think Lando's extremely happy about this. And we already know mentally, he could be kind of funny, but I think Lando still probably should congratulate Oscar. I honestly don't think Lando has any ill intentions, although maybe having ill feelings. I don't think Lando's going to go out here and try to purposely run Oscar off track if he can even get close enough in race trim form. I don't think Lando's going to do some backhanded, underhanded shit like Alonso trying to pay mechanics to sabotage Lewis Hamilton's car. I don't think he's going to do anything backhanded like Alonso sitting in the damn pit trying to hold Lewis up so he can't qualify. I don't think Lando's going to do anything like Max Verstappen and, hey, I ain't going to help you, although he almost did. He didn't. So while having ill feelings, I don't think Lando will do anything ill, but he may not celebrate. And even Oscar felt ill, which he was in rightful to feel with the situation that happened with him before. It wasn't McLaren who did it, but, I give drivers a little room to have a little bit of, man, fuck you kind of spirit, and then kind of come back, hey, congratulations, bro. You're not, but hey, it happens. But yeah, overall, just Oscar to me, that's my driver. That was my rookie. P is that dog. And so that's what I got to say. And so we are about to get ready to go into the Wolves Den so I can hear what you got to say verbally. I want to hear what y'all got to say about Lando, Max, Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari, Charles. I want to hear what y'all got to say about this Jos Verstappen being asked that question by Nico. I'm ready to hear what y'all got to say about today and about anything that we already discussed here, because I know y'all got some fire on it. So we going to be in the Wolves Den. Make sure you're there. When we get off here, you got 10 minutes to get in there. Wolves Den starts at 12:30. We had to move the time. I changed it on YouTube. I didn't change it in the Discord. My apologies. In 10 minutes, 9 minutes now, we'll be in the Wolves Den, all right? So I will see you there at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Set your clocks accordingly. It won't be long. Peace and love to you all. We will see what happens next time. I kind of thought, Max might win a race. We out.